So word on the street is the Green Goblin is actually real and it's touched down in Peru. First off, here's a warning to whoever you are. Aliens, DARPA super soldiers. Stop messing with Peru, man. That's my country. I love that place. Alright, so supposedly there's some kind of intergalactic jungle conflict happening in Peru, with allegedly 7-foot Green Goblin-esque aliens with cloaking technology engaging in guerrilla warfare with an innocent tribe. So what do I think's happening? Well, whenever something like this comes up, I always say the same thing. Horses to rocket ships in 60 years. Human beings went from horses to rocket ships in 60 years. Since that incredible leap in technology, another 60 years has passed. So whatever technology our government has, it's the equivalent of making a rocket ship look like a horse and buggy. Not to mention that technology grows exponentially, so it's probably actually far more advanced than that. I can't for the life of me understand why people thought in the 1960s the government, with the most powerful and brilliant scientists in the world, just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, "Nah, I think we did everything we wanted to do. We don't need to make faster rocket ships. We don't need to make spaceships. We don't need to make cloaking technology." Folks, here's the truth. The technology that the government has is beyond our wildest dreams. It's beyond our comprehension. If we were to actually look directly at their highest technology, our brains would melt. We wouldn't even know what we were looking at. If you haven't heard of the breakaway civilization theory, I highly advise you look into it. It's going to open up a whole new world for you in understanding what's happening in the world right now. So Mel, my first guess is this is probably some military technology. And if y'all remember my video a couple months ago where I started talking about the fake alien invasion, what did I say? First it would be rumors. People are seeing aliens in backyards. They would show up in remote places and do crazy things. We would never be sure if it actually happened, but the evidence would mount and just build this narrative in our head like, oh my God, they're hiding in the jungle. They're visiting slowly. There's more things that look kind of like meteors, but they don't really have the right kind of tail and it keeps changing colors. Are we being invaded? Never outright saying it or doing it, kind of building it up like one of those really scary movies. And as you know, the world is a theater. This is a psychological operation. The very last thing I think this is aliens. And there's a lot of good reasons why. Don't you find it peculiar that all of a sudden all these things are happening all at once? For the 70 to 80 years after we invited all those Nazi scientists over for Operation Paperclip, mind you, they were building a flying saucer. That's well documented. We started having a bunch of sightings of flying saucers, and everything was kind of chill. People would get abducted every now and then, a couple anal probes, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a full-scale invasion mounting. If that was the actual case, that would mean the aliens were working with the government to mess with us. Because if these aliens were as advanced as the government says they are, they would invade us in a day. It would be over. It would be clean. They wouldn't waste their resources. Like, it would be done in the blink of an eye. In fact, they would do it and then they'd make us forget that it happened. So we're probably already invaded if there actually is hostile aliens in the vicinity. It already happened and it's full-scale oppression prison planet. Or it hasn't happened and it probably won't. The next likely explanation for these Peruvian alien things is the veil between the first and second heaven is falling. And we are dealing with a spiritual war, and the government is using a fake alien narrative to try to explain it away so we don't realize this is a spiritual war. This is not a battle of flesh and blood, but of powers, principalities, and wickedness in high places. Yeah, so that's my hot take. The government has lied to us over and over and over again about pretty much everything. And it really does surprise me how many people are believing them now. Like after everything, after the LSD experiments in the 1960s, the Tungsten experiments with syphilis with African Americans, MK Ultra, they were literally creating serial unalivers. Like they were making them purposely and then putting them out in the public so they could commit crimes and scare the crap out of us. These are evil, evil people that run these organizations. These black budget projects. They are career liars. In fact, they probably enjoy lying. This is all a psyop. The question just is it a psyop with human players or a psyop about the spiritual war that we are in, or a little bit of both?